Welcome to the episode of The Secret of Life, the Universe, and Everything.
I'm glad you did that because I was going to actually bring that up.
Oh, it's so predictable and cliche, but I don't care. We are at episode 42, The Answer to Life, the Universe, and
I
Everything.
always love the delivery in the movie because I recently watched it back,
Oh,
and it's just like
right.
the way that they're waiting for it is just like it is funny, and then she just goes 42. The delivery is perfect, to be honest.
There are parts of the movie that I like,
Yeah, yeah. Bill
but
Bailey as a
overall,
whale.
oh, well, that's the whole thing. The whole whale thing is perfectly done.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I cannot deny that. The song that the dolphins sing, perfect.
it's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah. And then some of the delivery, of course, because let's face it,
Martin
British
Freeman. Yeah,
actors.
Martin Freeman is awesome. Mos
I was
Def is
gonna say
awesome.
they have best delivery. I mean, but as far as the movie and Arthur falling in love with Trillian, which is Zoe Deschanel, who I don't care for.
No, I
Ah,
don't either.
it's wrong. It's wrong.
Yeah, but it does happen. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
weird. Look, I take a lot of umbrage with that movie. I don't like it as much as some people do, and I don't think it's a great one. But at least it was actually written by Douglas Adams before he died.
I know, and the thing is, he handpicked Mos Def, who I do like as an actor first,
Yeah,
or not as an actor, as an entertainer,
yeah,
but because he's more known as I
a
was gonna say
rapper.
musician, but yeah, rapper over in, at least in America.
Yeah,
And but because I feel such a kinship with Ford Prefect,
mm,
which as an American did not know that Ford Prefect was his last name, misread it my entire life
of
as
course.
Ford Perfect
I did the first time as
until
well. Don't worry.
well, but the funny thing is, it was until I got that copy of the all of the Hitchhiker Guide
Yeah,
that we both apparently own, with the Gilded Edge pages and all that kind of stuff, the
yep.
leather bound one. Uh, he actually, or whoever wrote the forward, I can't remember if Douglas Adams wrote it or not. I think he wrote it himself. Um, yeah, he brought attention that Americans tend to call him Ford Perfect, and I
Mm,
went, "What? That's not his name." And then I found out that Ford Prefect was a car over here in the UK.
yes, it is. And that's where a lot of the stuff comes from. It comes from observational humour for British things.
Oh
It's
yeah,
very
I
weird.
miss. Oh gosh, as a kid reading that, because I think I was 12 when I first read it, and
Mm.
it was still my absolute favorite series. But there were words that confused me, like in the I think it's in So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, where he sits down and eats a packet of biscuits.
Yeah, he does.
Um, yeah, that I didn't know biscuits were cookies, because biscuits where I'm from are scones, are savory scones. So I'm like, why would he have a packet of those? They don't sell them in packets. So stuff like that was really confusing. And what happened the other day that I think it was something you said, and I meant to tell you that something you said finally made a joke in Hitchhiker's Guide makes sense to me. Oh, I'll have to
Really?
remember.
Yeah, if you remember,
Yes,
let me know because I'm interested about that.
because for years I didn't realize, and oh no, I remember what it was now. Um, I don't remember when we were talking about it. This was weeks ago, and I just
Hmm.
forgot about it. But there is a point where in Hitchhiker's Guide, I do think it was in the first one, where God disappears into a puff of logic. That
Yep.
little section, um, it says something like, and then was promptly ran over by a at a zebra crossing.
Yeah.
As an American, I didn't know what a zebra crossing was, or a zebra crossing.
Yes.
Um, I thought it was a bunch of zebras running.
Oh, really? Come on.
I was very confused. And then, I don't know, this was like months ago. You and I were talking about something, and you said something about a zebra crossing.
Oh,
And
I was
then,
out walking somewhere and I had to cross over a
yes,
zebra crossing, and he was like,
yes,
"What the heck is a zebra crossing?"
yes. that was it. Yes, because we have a lot of chats while mostly while Pete's out walking because I don't do anything. And,
Well, because I have to get myself out in the evening, otherwise I'll go
yeah,
stir crazy.
exactly. And I just sit and stare. No, that's not true. I do a lot of stuff. But
You
but
drink.
yeah, mostly I drink. And sit and stare. But yeah, so that solved a huge joke for me, which was still funny in my mind that this herd of zebras came running out of nowhere.
It would be funny.
Yes, but it was still funny knowing now what a zebra crossing is.
Of course. I have issues with the movie. Let's just say that before we move on. There is one other issue that I have with that movie.
Right.
They completely butchered Journey of the Sorcerer.
How so?
The orchestral version of Journey of the Sorcerer from the movie is really bad.
Oh, I'll have to. I thought it was good.
No, it's not.
Right?
If you go back and listen to the original Eagles version from from '75, it's so brilliant. Good. It's on rotation on my Spotify at the moment because it's so good.
I'll have to compare them because.
Yeah, I was gonna say just go and listen to them, and you'll hear the difference, and it's like some of the magic's been taken out of it.
Ah, right. Okay, yeah. I'll have to listen to it again. I do absolutely love it. I love the Eagles version because obviously.
Well, yeah, obviously.
It's so good. It's so good. Yes, so that concludes our Shotgun's Guide podcast within a podcast.
Yeah, our Douglas Adams cast continues next week.
Yes, exactly. But it is a good way to celebrate episode 42. Oh, I guess I should introduce this. So I am your co-host, Kyla. In case you didn't know, as you've sat here for, let's see, a total of 7 minutes listening to us prattle on. And I'm joined by my co-host, Pete Beckett, who
Hello.
I almost called you Pete Best again. Why?
Because I am best. That's why.
Maybe that's it. For those who don't know, I finally solved that mystery. Pete Best was the original member of the Beatles that broke off to form his own band.
And where did they go?
Exactly. So today's format's going to be a bit different, only because we've had roundtables and just whirlwind discussions.
And a week off.
And a week off, which I think was needed. We needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess we're going to start with the We've Got This section and get that going.
Yeah, that's mainly because we've got nothing but news stories this week, because there's been a lot of weird news over the last couple of weeks.
A lot that needs to be talked about. It's great. Yeah. Okay, so normally we don't start with We've Got This, but we're going to go ahead and do that, and it is a 2-minute segment that's never been 2 minutes, where you just kind of take some time to yourself and, look ahead to the week as it comes on, or look back on your week, or whenever you choose to do this. This was a little bit strange for me because I have had a really rough week, and I know that sounds like I have a rough week all the time, but it's really not. But this has been a particularly rough week because due to COVID, I had to shut down a project that I had my heart and soul set on, which was a convention here in Belfast, Fanfare Belfast. Pete was going to run the Smash tournament, and we were going to do a live show, and we had guests and merchandisers, and just all the nerdy goodness.
It was all looking good for a while.
It was. It really was. The venue is fabulous. They're wonderful people, and everything, but then just COVID came and just knocked it out of commission.
Yeah. The annoying thing was, though, for me, was that I loved the theming of it, but it couldn't go on this year because it's in a place called The Vault, which is obviously very Fallout related, and you were hoping to make it apocalyptic survival.
I was.
Which, it doesn't mesh well with apocalyptic survival of the moment.
Yeah. So in a weird kind of, I was gonna say irony, but that's probably not the right use of that word. In an alternate reality, in some other universe, Pete and I are talking on the podcast about the upcoming Fanfare Belfast. So
Yeah.
instead, this week we're gonna talk about it's a disappointment. It is. I'm
But
not gonna deny that,
it's not
but
cancelled.
it's not canceled.
It's just
Absolutely not.
postponed.
It is postponed. Who knows how long? But
Next
but
year.
next year for sure. Um, but yeah, it was themed as a post-apocalyptic because holy crap! And I was going to run a what do you call workshop on like zombie preparedness and how to prepare for the apocalypse and viruses. And yeah, something tells me that would have been a little problematic had
That
we chosen to go forward.
that would have gone down like a lead balloon.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
also, I think, shall we blame you for COVID because you clearly predicted it?
I'm often referred to as like Sherlock Holmes or whatever because I can figure things out before they happen.
Hmm.
And so this is another one of those very weird holy crap moments
Yeah.
because literally the workshop I was working on, my notes and everything, they it, it I'm just kind of shocked. Just put it
Yeah.
that way.
I mean, I was as well. Because we'd
Yeah.
spoken about this and then COVID happened and I was like, this
Oh.
is weird.
Yep. Yep. I mean, I was like, oh gosh, I had because I run a printing company, I had little like baubles and stuff I was gonna give for free and I was gonna give some masks away for free with logos on them as a joke. And yeah.
Yeah, remind me next year I better bring my gas mask.
No, next year I'm going to produce something like everyone gets rich and that's a great year.
That'd be good.
Yeah. And let's hope that happens. No, I am actually working on a new project, which I'll go into more later.
Hmm.
So hopefully it'll be more of a virtual type thing, but everyone will be invited to it. So
Awesome.
that'll be great. But yeah, so I guess really what I'm saying is sometimes life does not work out well,
No.
but that's not a reason to stop. In fact, I'm going to badly quote Deadpool, a movie I was watching last night, where
Oh, God.
Deadpool says something to the effect of life is just a series of commercial breaks during a bad movie, and the commercial breaks are the happy parts before you get back to the bad movie that is life.
I wish there were
Um,
commercial breaks during Deadpool. Because it's pretty much described that film.
yes. If you don't know, and of course you know, Deadpool's probably my top three movies. Dumb and Dumber being number one. So yeah, and Pete hates it. So
I've attempted 3 times to watch it and I can't stand it.
and the thing is, I kind of applaud you for that because you tried. It's like Red Dead all over again. You truly do not like it because you tried. You gave it a fair shot and you just don't like
But
it.
I mean, to be fair, I told you a revelation this morning that you were quite shocked about. About a
Yes.
game that I have overly trashed so many times.
Yes. Yes.
But I
I
have
was
gone
shocked
back.
to hear you playing it. I was absolutely stunned when you said, "Oh, I'm playing
Breath
fill in
of
the
the
blank."
Wild.
Yep. Could
I'm
not
act-
believe it.
No, the biggest shock is I'm actually kind of enjoying it this time.
Yeah. Yeah, which means that's definitely going to be a subject that's going to come up in a future episode. Because as I've said many times, I'll be replaying Red Dead to see if I still like it. And I love this idea that you're playing Breath of the Wild, a game that you have stated just did not do it for you,
Yeah,
and you're actually enjoying it now.
yeah. I think we'll come back to it in November then, because by that time,
Yeah.
you would have played Red Dead. I would have played
Yeah,
a lot more of
exactly.
Breath of the Wild and probably finished it this time.
Yeah, and we can kind of explore and see if it, was it you that changed or, you know what I mean? It'll be fun. It'll be
Well, the
fun.
game definitely didn't change because it hasn't
Well,
changed since
right.
2017, clearly.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Um, but yeah, so as the week goes on, just know that COVID sucks.
Yes.
It just does. And I'm going to say this because I'm a fair and balanced person. COVID made some people a lot of money. Some people I know personally.
Yep.
But for most of us, it sucks.
Yep.
And it took a lot of things. It took a lot of people's weddings away. It took a lot of conventions, as we do know.
It took a lot of
Away.
lives.
Took a lot of lives. I mean, that's first and foremost, of course. Um, but for those that are left here, our world is forever changed. And it's okay to acknowledge that. I tend to put myself on automatic a lot and just, wake up, go to work, get through the day, sometimes talk to Pete, and then go to bed.
Mm.
And then, and if I put myself on automatic like that, I don't think about it. But then when I stop and I think about it, I kind of am like, oh, that's, it's kind of sucks. But it's okay to say that, yes, this new world that we find ourselves in, it sucks.
It does.
And that does not make you a pessimist. It makes you a realist. Um, and then you can turn around and say, yeah, it sucks, but it's going to get better.
Yeah, of course. And sometimes what you need to do is you need to expel some of that bad energy because it's just
Yeah,
clearly sitting in there and it's poisoning your mentality. So get it
absolutely.
out, get out, have a
Yeah.
moment where you say, yeah, this sucks, but on the bright side, the weather's warm, it's nice and
Mm-hmm.
sunny. Yes, we can go out for walks. Yes, shops are
Yeah.
opening a bit more again in the UK, and
Yes.
some things are starting to move forward. Some things might not be moving forward like we want them to be, but there
Right.
are positives to look at. So don't always look at the negatives in life.
Exactly. I mean, and again, um, I always like to add a little bit about autism and Aspies and stuff, just because our brains are so very different from the quote typical or NTs. It did take me about 3 or 4 days to realize why I was
Mm.
bothered. Because I don't get bothered by things, and if I am bothered, there's something. There's a reason.
Yeah.
I just have to drill down and find it. So I kind of like had a little moment on social media where I was like really upset, but I didn't know why.
Yeah.
And then it dawned on me when I looked at the date, and I went, "Oh my gosh, that's what it was. It's because it is Fanfare Belfast time, and I I can't have Fanfare Belfast."
You
But
can.
I
I mean, we
will.
can have a
I
digital
will.
event at some point this year.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing that everything is about life is about change. Oh man, I couldn't remember the X-Men's original school motto, Mutant Mutandis, I think, which means life always changes.
Okay.
Uh, yes, and it does. So you change and you adapt. So Fanfare was canceled. A lot of our conventions are canceled. You know what? Maybe the next iteration of Fanfare is a purely digital one, and we'll have fun and have a great time.
Yeah, we can
And
always do something with it, but we'll look into that. We'll look into that.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I
So
say
as
we, I meant you.
yeah, I'll look into it and then I'll make you do stuff.
Just look, just not Street Fighter or not Smash Brothers because the
I
netcodes
know.
suck to
I
them.
know. Oh gosh. Yeah. Oh. Wait. Okay. No. I've got thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, so have I.
Okay.
I
Crap.
literally just had
Yeah.
one.
Me too. Okay. So yeah. Stay tuned for iterations of Fanfare Belfast.
Where we actually live discuss them. I don't know.
Yes. Oh my gosh. We
Oh, that
should
would be
do
a
that.
bad idea, wouldn't it?
A separate podcast.
Oh, crap. We probably should do a fanfare
Oh
podcast,
my
shouldn't we?
gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's
No.
a thought. How taking an idea and how it gross. I was gonna say evolutes, but I don't think that's a word.
No, it's
Evolves.
not.
Oh my gosh, it evolves.
Evolutes. In fact, we've just come up with the episode name. There you go. It is now Evolutes. And I'm writing that, so...
Oh gosh. Pokemon Evolute.
There you go. And I've just put it in the chat as well, and that's just got you going again. Brilliant.
Seeing it now is like terrible. Oh my gosh. But if anything, I hope this shows you that life isn't always sad, and you get to laugh and have fun.
You get to laugh at your own stupidity sometimes.
Yes,
I've done enough of that this morning.
I was gonna say, sometimes the best laughs are at your own expense.
Yeah, damn straight. If you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at?
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So all in all, don't worry. I think, as we've proven just now, we've got this. You've got this. We've got this.
Yeah, it's
and
not
we've got this together.
Yeah, there we go. We've got this because we're together in this. Everyone is, not just us.
Everyone. Yes, absolutely.
World.
Yes. So now that we've got all of that out of the way, not to dismiss it by any means, but we're going to get to the meat of the episode, as they say.
Yeah, that was the bread and the spread.
Yes.
This is the ham, the cheese, whatever you put in your sandwich. Tuna mayo.
Yeah. Whatever.
Marmite, cheese and Marmite, whatever. BLT could be anything.
What is that bean curd stuff? Tofu.
Ugh.
There you go. I actually like tofu. I had some done in like a Chinese way, I think.
It's okay. Some tofu's okay, but you got to make sure that you cook it well enough so it takes all flavors, because otherwise it is just a dry, rubbery mess.
I was gonna say it was more like it had soaked up all of the Szechuan sauce, and it was amazing. So it was just a packet of Szechuan sauce.
Yeah, just don't talk about Szechuan sauce again.
Oh gosh.
No,
my gosh.
Don't.
Oh dear. I walked right into that Rick and Morty.
You did. You did.
That was not a reference to Rick and Morty, believe it or not.
I know it wasn't, but still.
I stopped watching the last season.
Well, yeah, I stopped watching on season 3 because it got terrible.
That's what I mean. Yeah, so I haven't even watched any of the new stuff.
No, neither have I, and I don't intend to.
No. But we'll save that for our Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah, our Justin Roiland episode.
Well, I was going to say, do I call out Dan Harmon? Because it's Dan Harmon that ruins everything. That's what it should be called. Dan Harmon ruins everything.
Oh, there you go. We've got our episode name for that episode then.
That's the greatest podcast name ever.
Dan Harmon ruins everything. Because he does.
I'm telling you, like, I'm not kidding. Listeners out there, I'm sure that we have a lot of listeners that probably enjoy Dan Harmon's work, and there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, Community is brilliant. Some of the other stuff he's done is brilliant. The first 2 seasons of Rick and Morty are pretty
fantastic, yeah.
But he has a history of just ruining everything he touches because his ego gets in the way. And if you watch the episode of Game Grumps that he guested on, it's the most uncomfortable, cringeworthy, not the fun cringe, the truly
so not like a good episode of The Office then.
Right, exactly. No, this is the bad cringe.
This is like watching Deadpool kind of cringe then.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Moving on.
Yes, that is not cringe. But yes, we are going to get into the news. I will let Pete lead us off on that.
Oh, good. I'm able to do my job.
Yes, exactly. I'll stop talking for 5 seconds.
Okay, so this is basically, we're going to cover some stories that have happened over the last 2 or 3 weeks. So we might go back a little bit further, and you might hear some stuff that has been covered to death, but we haven't spoken about it on our podcast. So
yes. Exactly.
But we're going to start off with some recent news that happened this week. Nintendo showed their Pocket Card because they've got nothing else for the rest of the year. Pikmin 3 Deluxe. They've announced it for a Switch release for the 30th of October. And let me just tell you now, because I told you in the week.
Yeah.
I give 0 cares about this game.
Yes, you said that.
Cannot stand Pikmin.
Yeah, I'm not of the same level, which is probably ironic because we're going to talk about bug snacks later. But um, yes, so this is Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which is an expansion.
It is, but they
Um,
didn't clearly give off what the expansion actually is in the trailer. It was in a press
no,
release afterwards.
that's right. Yes. In fact, I have the press release
Oh,
here.
I'm glad you did,
Um,
because I forgot to grab it.
oh, right. No, no. So it now features exciting new modes and features. Two-player co-op.
Which is cool.
Um, that is cool. That is actually very cool. New adventures. Go it alone or team up with a friend to take on brand new prologue and epilogue stories starring Pikmin and Pikmin 2 heroes Olimar and Louie. Um, quality of life improvements, which that's a weird thing to say. We updated a game,
Yeah,
you
well, that's
know.
normal. But what they're probably talking about quality
They've
of
got it
life
listed.
improvements because there's going to be some changing of the controls in some way.
Well, yes, that's exactly what they've said. Expand your exploration with an enhanced lock-on targeting system,
Yep.
enemy balancing changes, multiple difficulty modes, optional hints, and more. So I think they've made it an
Easier.
option for it to be easier, which
Yeah,
that's a debate that's come up with several games, and I think we've even talked about it here on the show.
we did.
Um, while I probably wouldn't choose to play easier modes, I do like that they're starting to add easier modes for other people.
Yeah,
Um,
until journalists start to actually rip them to shreds
yeah,
for being too easy.
yes,
But
which
isn't
is
that the
ironic.
point?
Yeah, exactly. When they did a story 2 months earlier saying they should introduce easier modes.
Yeah, so
Same
you can't
exact
win either
journalist.
way.
Yep. And then Piclopedia, unlock profile entries for each character and find out their unique perspectives on each creature you discover. So, like a Pokédex,
Yeah,
except a Piclopedia.
well, yeah, it's just the encyclopedia of everything you find on your journey. And
Yeah, which I, as a person who tends to like collecting things and reading lore and stuff, I do like it when, like, even on Viva Pinata, when you have like your encyclopedia of everything you grow and all
yeah,
the different pinatas, I do like
it is
that.
cool, I will admit. I do like that kind of thing as well, and it's I'm trying to think what else. There's a lot of games that have them in. I was trying to think of
Oh
one that I
yeah.
played
Oh
recently that
gosh.
had a massive, extensive like encyclopedia on there.
Right. No, it's starting to be seen more and more, and it is usually in the more kind of Nintendo-esque type games.
Yeah.
Although I'm saying that Far Cry, like Far Cry 3
Oh, that
especially,
has a
it has
huge
it
one.
too. Yeah, which I did again. I didn't care for the game. Loved that aspect of it.
I mean,
Um
Far Cry. Far Cry is a weird one. I like the games, but they're not that great because they don't change that much over different
that's the
entries.
thing. hmm You're playing the same game every time.
Mm.
I will say, which has been stated before, but like they do have great villains, and it does look like their newest one is also going to be another great villain.
I
So,
hope so because
yeah.
Giancarlo Esposito is a
hmm
great actor.
Yes, he is very great.
Although there was
Uh,
controversy about that, but we won't go into that
no,
because it's not
we're
on the
not gonna. Yeah,
news.
not gonna go into that. But yes. Um, yeah. So Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I'm glad. Here's what I am. I'm glad for the fans of this game
Yep.
if they're happy. I don't know because it takes a lot to make a Nintendo fan happy. Um, it does, and whereas with me, just give me something and slap Halo on it, and I'm happy.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Because well, talking about the keeping the Nintendo fans happy, there
yeah,
was a certain someone who will keep nameless at this point.
right.
Basically, put into Discord, went, "Oh look, pick me free, woo woo," and then pulled them up about it and said, "Well, this is barely anything, really, you know." And then they turned around 2 minutes later and went, yeah, I see what you mean. Actually, I'm kind of annoyed now because it's not Pikmin 4.
Yeah, that seems to be a vibe that is reflected in a lot of Nintendo fans. Well, Pikmin specifically, Pikmin fans.
Yeah.
Um, and in a way, I feel bad if they're not happy with with what's been offered. But at the same time, I mean, you and I discussed that Nintendo is we're entering Q4. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're about to enter Q4. They've got to have something that's going to sustain them. Pikmin 3 is going to be their, that's what they've got to lead
Well,
with right now.
this is what I was saying to you earlier on in the week, wasn't I?
Hmm.
Is I worry that this is their big holiday title
Right.
because this is
Yes.
just an upgraded port, and if they've got No More Heroes 3 and Bravely Default
Hmm.
2 coming out apparently this year, then surely they should be resting on those two games as potentially being a big holiday title. But
Hmm.
they're not Nintendo properties technically.
Right.
They're by other
Right.
studios, so this is Nintendo's big IP basically for this
It
year. And
is.
to be honest with you, it's not the Mario remasters that everyone would like to see. I think they are still coming, but I worry
I
that they're going to
do.
be
I
next
think so.
year now. Um,
I.
but I had a theory, didn't I, earlier
You did.
in the week that I said to you that I'll put out here now. That
Hmm.
actually I think next year is going to be a really important one for Nintendo, because I
Yep.
think their January Direct is going to be within the first couple of weeks of the year, where they will apologise for the lack of scheduling for anything in 2020, explain how they were pretty much completely done by COVID in a massive way,
Hmm.
and they will have tentpole releases every month as an apology.
Yeah, because that is something. I mean, frick, yeah. Like, what was it last year where they were blowing everyone out of the water
It
because
was
they were just release after release
it
after
was
release. It was just like
2017. It was the first year of the Switch.
it was absolutely like even I was going,
Yeah,
good freaking job,
I
Nintendo.
I
That was
know.
amazing.
Yeah, because I was explaining to you in the week, wasn't I? Where I said, "Oh,
Hmm.
look, like first year of the Switch, it was like Breath of the Wild first
Hmm.
month, then Mario Kart, then like
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors Legends, Pokken Tournament DX, Mario Odyssey, all those incredible games. I think they had Tropical Freeze in there as well. I
Yeah.
think, but it's
Yeah, because
mad.
I
Like
think
they
we
had
talked about
so many
that.
tentpole titles.
Yep. And then on top of it, they started getting the third party announcements.
They did, yeah.
And it just kept them afloat like the entire year. And I was just sitting there going, they did it.
Mm. They need to have
They
another
beat
year
the
like
other
that.
ones. And yeah, exactly. And that's the way that and I have stated this on the air before. That is the way they will beat the big boys is their games library.
Yeah, absolutely.
It will always be that. They can't compete on power, but they don't need to.
No,
Um,
they compete on creativity alone.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So
So yeah.
yeah, I think we're done with Pikmin because I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Yes.
I'm not the
Yeah.
biggest fan. I'm not. I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just I don't like the RTS style of games. So
Yeah.
fair enough. I'm happy for the Pikmin fans who've been waiting for this like a long quite a while. It's one of
Yeah.
the only Wii U titles that's still left to be ported.
Yeah. Exactly.
So oh hello Xbox
I was
notification.
gonna say, whoops.
Whoops.
I meant to mute
Yeah,
that.
clearly.
I'm not. I'm totally not an Xbox fangirl.
I hope you're not still playing Fallout whilst we're recording.
No, no, no,
Good.
no, no, no.
Oh, I
I
can't
just
hear your
haven't.
controller. That's fine then.
No, exactly. No, you'd hear it. Yeah, you would definitely hear
We make comments about that when we talk as well. It's I can literally just hear the controller just
it.
clunking.
Yep. Yep. And sometimes I get frustrated and I go click, 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 and you're like, what was that?
It's like I just had to kill something in Fallout.
Yep.
It's like okay, all right, we'll move on to the next news story because this one I
Yep.
think this one's going to excite us both.
Mm-hmm.
The studio known as Rocksteady, those
Yep.
glorious guys from the UK who created the Arkham series,
Mm-hmm.
have announced their next project on Twitter with more information to be shown at DC Fandom on the
Yeah.
22nd of August. So that means it's a DC game.
Yes.
Suicide Squad.
Absolutely. And they released it with the teaser pic, which was amazing. I'm sorry, it was amazing.
I'm glad you brought that teaser pick up because there's something I wanted to ask about it.
All right. Okay.
Is this Superman or is this Bizarro?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. 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 This is live as it happens, folks. So I have seen this image, and if you haven't seen the teaser image, it is by all appearances, Superman with, of course, the Suicide Squad crosshairs, on his
Well,
head.
yeah, it's the Task Force X, basically, sort of, or
Yeah,
kind of thing.
and until Pete had said that, I had never paid attention. I'm just now looking at it in high def.
Hmm.
You can see the kind of striation on his face.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about Superman, I forget that we're sitting here talking like everyone knows what we're talking about. But Bizarro is a very interesting character in the DC universe. It
Yeah.
is exactly what it sounds like. Bizarro version of Superman. He's the opposite
He's
of
like a
Superman.
super evil version of Superman. Got
Yeah,
all of the powers, but like none of the
he's
moral
dumb
compass.
and he's dumb as a rock.
Yeah.
Um, and it's weird because I'm an idiot, I always have this kind of like a little bit like, oh, because
You sympathise with
I'm
the
like
villains.
that for all the bad guys. I'm like, oh. Um, so I think you might actually be right, Pete. I'm looking at this image now.
Mm, I mean, I'm not alone in this one. A lot of people have asked the question, and I think we won't know anything until we get a bit more with DC fandom.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got a feeling about this.
Mm-hmm.
A bit of a feeling is that I think there are going to be a lot of playable characters in this. It could potentially be a live service game, which I worry about.
Oh, right.
I hope not.
Right.
But I think if we're going to have multiple playable characters, there is one noticeable person who has worked with the Suicide Squad
Uh-huh.
before, but isn't a member of the Suicide Squad, and they've already made him before. Batman.
Right. Yes.
I think you'll play as
Right.
Batman.
Really?
Yeah,
Could be.
I think the characters that we're gonna have are gonna be Harley Quinn, Batman. We'll have Deadshot or
Oh yeah, has to have Deadshot.
Floyd
Yeah.
Lawton, isn't it?
Say that again. You
Floyd
cut out
Law.
right there.
His name's Floyd Lawton, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They will probably have Killer Croc. They're essentially the roster might be essentially what
Yeah.
we got in the movie.
Oh, plus the movie's due out as well.
Yeah.
So even though this might not be a direct tie-in,
No,
knowing
I don't think it will
DC
be.
and Warner Brothers, they'll still have it.
They'll come out around about the same time as the movie.
Yeah. Exactly.
It makes sense.
Um.
I mean, that's going to have an expanded cast in it as well with the Suicide Squad, so it's going to be
Yeah.
like loads of different members over the years, apparently.
I'm super excited.
I just hope that they don't rest on the normal thing of, oh, let's put Joker in it somewhere.
Yeah, let's give Joker a break.
We
Let's
do.
just.
I think he's been overdone, and I really hope that,
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
because part of me wonders whether or not they will, because obviously they've had stuff with Joker before in the Arkham series, and
Yeah.
I mean, look at
Absolutely.
Arkham Knight, where they said, "Oh, Joker's definitely dead," but he appeared back in
Yeah.
the game somewhere, and it's kind of stupid when he does.
And no one was surprised. Like no one was surprised. It
Absolutely
wasn't.
not.
No. No. It was not a surprise.
The biggest
Um.
surprise in the Arkham games was actually that moment in Arkham Asylum when they switched everything full 180.
Yeah.
Was where they replay the whole game like from the start, but it's actually the roles are reversed and Joker's taking Batman into Arkham Asylum instead.
Yeah. It's a very strange thing. God, they really handled that well. I liked that. There's a lot of bits to it that I actually liked. Now that I'm going
Mm.
back over it. Um. Yeah. I am excited for this. I want to see this. I'm distracted right quick by the
Bizarro.
character lineup. Yeah, exactly. I think you're right.
I think I'm on the money with that one because he doesn't look
Because
like
the
normal
truth is,
Superman.
he doesn't look like normal Superman. And seriously, Suicide Squad was started as, yeah, they're a group of outlaws. Um,
Yeah,
but they're a group of outlaws hired, by law enforcement. They
yeah,
wouldn't go after Superman, who's like, you know, the. I was gonna
Mr.
say
White
the.
Knight basically.
I was gonna say the Boy Scout, but Boy Scouts aren't doing so well reputationally over in the U.S. I don't know,
Oh yeah. Well, he is though. Like he has always been
He
envisioned
is.
as
He's
that Boy
always,
Scout
yeah,
character. So
exactly. Yeah, I hate it when they try to take him into
yeah,
like human territory. It's like, no, No, Superman
Yeah.
doesn't have a beard. Cut the
You
beard
know,
off.
you know what? I
So,
really have a hope for this game. I do. I love
I
the
do too.
Arkham series. I like Rocksteady as a
Hmm.
studio. I think they do great work.
Oh yeah.
In terms of story stuff, I might put a prediction out here. If
Okay.
we are getting Bizarro, then I think
Hmm.
it's Bizarro that's controlled by Amanda Waller.
So you think it would be like a test?
No, I think Amanda Waller has actually turned him against the
Right.
Suicide
Okay.
Squad, and the main villain is Waller herself.
Oh well, yeah. Okay. I mean, that's pretty. Yeah, I could see that happening.
It does happen a lot in the comics, to be
It
fair.
does.
She is the one that runs the task force, but she's super ambiguous.
Hmm.
You don't know whether or not she's a hero or a villain or an anti-hero or
Exactly.
whatever. She's just weird.
Yeah,
And
she's
hopefully
a
they give her
very strange character.
the actual comic look where she's this big woman rather than what we got in the film.
Yeah, exactly. I hope my secret hopeful prediction. It's not secret because I'm about to tell it.
Hmm.
I hope that they have some form in almost a Deadpool style, you might say, of uh, what's his face, Jared Leto's Joker,
Ugh.
like in a poster or a baseball card or something, and
Yeah.
they like use it for target practice or something,
Oh,
and
don't no, because that gives off some really bad memories of that Ninja Theory DMC, where they had that moment in there where they put where the wig flies onto his head and he goes not in a million years and throws it away.
yes, exactly.
I actually thought that was funny, but
That is
every
funny.
single DMC fan absolutely hated
Oh
that.
goodness. Oh dear.
Watching the
Ah,
saltiness after that was so funny.
yeah. Oh man, those clips are really good though. But yeah. Cool. I'm looking at some of the frick. What are they called? They're not called action figures, but the things that don't move that you set on your desks. The
Oh,
little statuettes, whatever.
yeah, I think statuettes would work.
Yeah, God, they've got some really good ones out there. I haven't. I try to stay away from them because I have a tendency to collect things, and I would collect everything and spend lots of money.
Yep.
But they're using them in an article on something called bbomb.com, which is talking about Rocksteady.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know who released them, but dang, they look good.
You have to send the link over so I can have a look after we're done.
Yeah. Unfortunately, one of them is Jared Leto as Joker, which
Ugh.
is what led me to say they should do some kind of fourth wall breaking, Deadpool esque shoot 'em up.
I do hope so. Either that or like Harley picks up her guns and just shoots the heck
Exactly.
out of it, or
Exactly.
either that or Deadshot just has a sniper shot from miles away that just goes straight through the eyes. Or Killer Croc just rips the poster and eats it.
Ah, yeah, that's good. Oh, yeah, there you go.
See, I know my Suicide Squad.
You too. You too. God, I really hope this next movie does well. Of course it will. It's
I hope
James
so.
Gunn.
It's James Gunn, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
But
we'll move
yes.
on, shall we?
Yes.
So, we're going to cover the Nintendo Partner Showcase Direct Mini. Oh god, this was a nightmare.
I have said this on the show before. I don't understand the Nintendo minis. I just don't. But yes, continue on.
At least this one was actually a mini.
Yeah, I see that 8 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, 8.5 minutes I think it lasted in total. And showed off some questionable things.
That would be as long as the Halo gameplay.
It was, and that's what we joked about in the show in the roundtable discussion last week.
That's right. Yes.
So go back and listen to Lewis absolutely taking the mick out of that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lewis.
Yeah. Darn it. That was just still in my brain. So
yeah. So
that is a good episode, though. If you haven't listened to it.
God.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that a bit later because we have actually got a question which relates to that as well, which is funny. So they showed off. It was weird because they had a slightly different direct in Japan than they did in the Western showcase, because they showed Atelier Riser 2 there, which is a bit
Right.
weird.
Okay.
Like, they didn't show that here, because instead of that, they showed WWE 2K Battlegrounds, which, oh god, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
why this was here. But I mean, they started the showcase off strongly, which was great, because they had Cadence of Hyrule DLC, and there's 3 different packs coming out, and one of them was available, shadow dropped after the event, and there's going to be a physical release in October of this year, which is great. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
fair play to Cadence of Hyrule on that one. The team that works on Crypt of the Necrodancer clearly done some great stuff to get some sort of business with Nintendo working on an indie title.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
I hope it opens up more opportunities where indie developers are given something that's like a Nintendo property that's slightly different.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that's a very, very good direction to go in because they did that with something that I can't remember right now.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, I can't. It'll come to me later. But it was
Yeah.
they got a different studio to work on, what's one of their
Mm.
properties, um, and it turned out great because you're bringing a new set of eyes and a new set of thoughts and ideas to something that already exists,
Yeah.
but maybe needs a freshen up.
Yeah. To be honest, this makes me wish for one thing, honestly,
Hmm.
which is Shinnen Multimedia, who made Fast RMX.
Hmm.
I really, really hope they're given F-Zero.
Oh
Because Fast
yes,
RMX
yes.
is essentially an F-Zero game anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I think we talked about that
We probably
during
did.
the week. I think we did. Because yes, I really want to see
Oh,
that.
we did, yeah, and I basically said that F-Zero is never coming back. I
Yeah,
don't... Yeah,
that
it's
is
been
what you
20
said.
years, and Miyamoto essentially pretty much admitted that Sega made a better F-Zero game than they ever made.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I don't think F-Zero is ever coming back, unfortunately. It pains me to say it.
Yeah.
But anyway, they moved on from Cadence of Hyrule to Rogue Company,
Hmm. Which is.
uh, currently out on early access at the moment.
Hmm.
So, not sure why they showed that here.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
They then showed 2K Battlegrounds, as we said. But these were the 2 big ones, and this is the only reason why this was worth watching.
Hmm.
Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne Remaster,
Hmm.
which is due to come out in Japan end of this year and early next year for the Western audience. But then we finally, and I mean finally, because this game got announced in 2017, before the Switch even came out, in that January showcase,
Oh
in
right.
Shin Megami Tensei 5 is due to
Hmm.
come out next year, but Atlas decided to do something that's very unusual for them and have the game come out simultaneously worldwide.
I have to admit that's a very strange thing. Although I am starting to see a lot more of that happen.
Mm,
Nowadays, I guess with digital distribution. But yeah, that's a strange one right there because usually they release to Japan first.
always release it to Japan
Hmm.
first, and it's an issue with localization. The thing is that you have to remember how many languages there are. Like in Europe alone, they have to
Hmm.
localize it for all these different areas, And then in America, you've got various different languages happening there as well, with the
Right.
Spanish-speaking community, and
Yep.
um, then you got those pesky Canadians,
Yes.
and they're bloody French.
And
Uh,
yep.
I'm
Very
joking.
French.
I love the Canadians.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've got multiple languages worldwide. It's very hard to localize a game. So fair enough that Atlas are actually taking the time to localize this all at once, rather than put this out and then a year later we get it in the Western side, like they do with
Hmm.
Persona and all that. It's just weird, to be honest. But fair enough, they've finally done something different that's outside their realms of possibility. They seem to be
Right.
embracing new technology, because they obviously released Persona 4 Golden on PC, which is the first ever PC release, which
Right.
is weird. And that
Yeah.
sold really well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe we're starting to see something different from Atlas.
I to be fair, I think it's time.
It
I
has to
think,
be.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I hate to sound, I don't know, it's weird to say, like, you have to move with the times, man, but it's true.
Yeah, I agree. So we're going to move with the times right now and get off of this because I hated every second of this because it was boring
Right.
as hell. I mean, I don't play Shin Megami Tensei. I don't play
Uh,
Cadence of Hyrule. 2K games
right.
can go and suck a fat one for all I
Yeah,
care.
yeah,
And
yep, yep.
Rogue Company is basically a shooter MOBA. No interest from
That's,
me.
yeah,
So we'll move on to a PlayStation State of Play that was shown on the 6th of August.
yes,
Well, this is
which is,
fun.
yeah,
Not.
absolutely.
This
Yeah.
was also another really interesting showcase because they pretty much came out beforehand and stated that we're not showing any new PS5 games, only gameplay for stuff that's already been shown,
Hmm.
and most of this was all PS4, which is
Yeah.
weird at the end of a generation.
It is very strange, and I also think it's strange, and of course we'll get into it, but I think it's strange that they chose this state of play to show off a PSVR game. I just,
They
you know,
showed two PSVR games actually.
right,
So
right.
I'll run through the list in order
Hmm.
because it's an actual,
Yes.
like if you were to listen to this, it would sound interesting.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So they started out with Crash 4, It's About Time, and that's now made me excited about that game, which is weird
Hmm.
because I absolutely hated the original Crash games.
Right.
They've added a lot of different modes into this. They've made Dingo Dial a playable character,
Hmm.
which is
Yes.
super weird.
I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
it. It
and
really
they've
is.
also made it available that you can play as Coco throughout the whole game now as well,
Oh
which I
wow,
think is
that's
quite a
really
good
cool.
idea.
Yeah, I do as well. I
Um,
do.
they've added new masks as well, so the Aku Aku masks. They've added loads of different versions of those that have different abilities,
Hmm.
and the level design actually does look really interesting.
Yeah, it
So
does.
I think I'm in for this now. I think I'm gonna buy this.
Good. I would like to see, or I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions on it
Well,
when it does come out.
I will play it, and I will let the collective pod know.
Yes, absolutely.
So they moved on to this for a very big surprise announcement,
Yeah.
actually. Hitman 3 is coming to PS4,
Hmm.
which we already knew about, but
Yep.
they showed a VR mode for it, so the whole game can be
Yeah.
played in VR.
That's so crazy.
It's quite
Um,
funny, actually, though, because I saw a tweet going around about this. There was someone who was live streaming the event, and they
right?
went, "Oh, Hitman, oh, it's Hitman 3. You know, they can't do anything to surprise me now. Hitman's perfect." And then they went into VR. Went into VR and it just went silent. It was brilliant. It was like,
Uh,
yeah, Hitman's perfect. VR mode? Not well, now it
uh,
is.
yeah. See, it's so funny because we spoke previously before. I love the Hitman series.
Hmm.
And it's still to this day one of my favorite Let's Plays to watch.
Oh, it's great.
Other people do because it's just there's so many options and so much you can do with it.
Yeah.
Um, and the idea of seeing some of my favorite Let's Players in VR mode, I'm just imagining it's going to be amazing.
Have you by any chance seen the really weird glitch on one of the games where Agent 47 throws a briefcase and it just follows a jet skier around?
Yes, I've
That's
seen that.
so funny.
Yes. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Hitman is so good that even the glitches are just as good as the actual
That that
gameplay,
is
if that makes
so
sense.
funny. I watch
It's
that
so
regularly when I need a good laugh.
yes. Oh
Because
gosh,
it's not the
yeah.
way that it does. It's like spinning in
No.
the air, but it's actually
Yep.
following the jet ski.
Yep. It's so good. It's so good. Oh.
So
Oh
yeah,
gosh.
I'm quite excited about that. So I would imagine you're
Yeah.
probably going to play the VR
Oh,
mode briefly.
yeah. Yeah. At probably 10 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Uh,
So that'll
but
take
oh
you
yeah.
about a year to get through the game.
Yeah. Huh.
So
Uh,
the next announcement was a bit strange.
yeah. Yes.
So Braid was a game that came out in 2008
Right.
and was a
And
hugely successful indie title.
it was.
They're now the way they showed this off looked like it was Braid 2.
Right.
No.
Which was weird.
Yeah, it's
But
Braid 12th Anniversary Edition, but it's just called Anniversary Edition. I just felt like adding the 12th in there for weirdness.
right. Yeah. Uh-huh. That was yeah.
I mean, who celebrates the 12th anniversary?
Yeah, God, I was gonna come up with some joke and there's just nothing there.
Exactly, because the whole
My
thing is
brain
a
went
joke.
whoop.
Well, yeah, the whole thing is a joke. Like, who celebrates
Oh,
12th year anniversary? Nobody.
yeah.
So this is essentially just Braid remade, like with new assets.
Yeah.
Well,
And
remastered.
it's
Odd.
it's very strange because the guy that came up with it, what is his name?
It's Jonathan Sank, I believe.
Jonathan Blow.
That's
It's
the
Jonathan
one,
Blow.
yeah.
Yeah. He's not the most well liked. Well, I guess he's a controversial.
He is. I remember seeing him on the indie game movie,
Yeah.
and he was a very weird figure.
Yeah, he's even strange for me.
That's saying something.
That is saying something. That's saying a lot of things.
Yeah.
But so I mean, yeah, because I'm reading right now. World of Warcraft. He states that World of Warcraft causes societal problems by creating false image of the meaning of life, calling it unethical. I mean, come on.
Brilliant.
And then says of Farmville. Can you believe this? He says Farmville. The design of the game reveals the developer's goal to degrade the quality of players' lives, ultimately calling it, quote, inherently evil. He's
Well,
a
he is kind of
strange
true.
guy.
Yeah. So
But
we'll get away from this one then, shall we? Before we start going down the rabbit hole of that weirdness.
yeah, because I could go very much. But yes, I do want to say, which Pete said, go watch Indie Game, the movie.
That's a great movie, to be fair.
It's a great movie. It really shows you, how behind the scenes, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the best way to put it. And then you get to kind of
check him out for your
exactly.
own self and see how weird he really is.
Yeah, and so all in all, Braid Anniversary Edition is a very strange way to go.
It is, but actually, as someone who's not played Braid yet, I think this might be a good way to experience it for the first time.
It is, and you know what just hit me? Tell me if I'm wrong here, but I think Braid was initially put out by Microsoft remember they used to have that little indie.
Yes, it was an Xbox Live indie game first and foremost, I
Yeah.
believe. It was either on the indie store, or it was on Xbox Live Arcade.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was Live Arcade. I was going to say it was the indie store, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it was the Live Arcade. So that's kind of weird that PlayStation's releasing.
Unless they haven't explained it, because it's obviously in the showcase that there might be an Xbox One or Series X version coming too.
There's going to have to be, because that's just weird. That is weird. Actually, I might have it here. No, I don't. Oh, no, there it is. An anniversary version is planned for early release in 2021 for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, Windows, Mac, and Linux.
And the Switch as well.
Linux, yeah.
Oh my god.
So what we're essentially saying is that PlayStation stuck a game in their state of play that's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, well, that's normal.
Yeah.
They do.
I mean, it's normal, but it's like padding,
Yeah,
it's filling out there.
It's also trying to make it look like that this is an exclusive to their platform.
Exactly.
Bit weird. Anyway.
That is weird.
So we're going to move on to a PS5 game now. And they showed gameplay for it called The Pathless.
Yes. which I don't know anything about.
The art style looks amazing for it, at least.
Oh yeah,
Um,
we talked earlier. I really like. I'm gonna probably say it wrong, but Abzu, which is what
yeah,
the creators had originally done, it's beautiful.
it's a
So gorgeous.
very good-looking game. I'm still
But
very clueless as to actually what the heck it is.
yeah, yeah, the most I can get is mythic adventure game about an archer and an eagle in a vast forest. That's literally.
That's all I got as well. Well, apparently it's an open world game.
Well,
Well, that's kind of a
be.
given.
I was gonna say it'd be kind of weird if it wasn't actually.
Well, yeah, because every game is an open world game
Eh,
nowadays, really.
pretty much. Even Halo is going to be, so that tells
Yeah.
you that.
Well, I heard a really stupid joke about that. I was actually listening to another podcast, but I won't mention by name here because
Uh-huh.
but they were talking about the Xbox showcase, and rather than calling it an open world game, they called it an open ring simulator.
Oh my gosh. That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, but it's also the connotations about it being like an allegory for an anal. It was
Oh my
actually quite
gosh.
funny too.
So close sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is funny. That is funny. Oh gosh. Yes.
Yeah, they kept rolling with that. It was quite
Yeah.
disgusting at times, but it was really funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So,
Yeah, because when you start getting into the flood,
oh God.
oh gosh.
Oh,
Okay. Moving
yep.
on.
Moving. They showed off Spelunky 2,
hmm
and that's not a porn game, I promise.
I
I said Spelunky, not.
don't
Get
know.
your mind out of the gutter. God damn it.
Maybe, maybe, spelunking is a turn on for people. You don't know.
Well, for all those spelunkers out there.
Yeah, there you go. Finally got your. Well, I was gonna say this is two. So.
No, yeah, I mean, it just reminds me of the really bad line in Batman Begins where Morgan Freeman asks him what he's doing next. It's like, more spelunking? It's like, no, today's cave diving.
Oh gosh. Oh.
Why do
Oh
I
god.
remember that so well? It's
That
so
is.
weird.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So
this is an
that's what we have to
action
say.
platformer. Action platformer. Spelunky,
Yeah.
apparently, the first game was not bad. I never got around to playing it, though.
It seems like some. I mean, here's the thing. It's a platformer, so you would like it, but
Yeah.
it's very. I don't know. It's 2D. It looks like to me it should be a mobile game, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest.
I don't know.
Anyway, the next game was, I'm
Mhm.
just looking up at it now again, was called Genshin Impact.
Right. Okay.
Which apparently is also coming to Switch and Android, iOS and Windows.
Okay. So a mobile game.
So another
Oh,
game,
this is very yeah.
anime.
Okay. Yep.
It's a very
Very.
anime-inspired looking game, and this is the game that got described as anime Breath of the Wild.
Right.
No, I'm not playing Breath of the Wild because of Genshin.
Uh huh.
No, it's got. If you look at
No,
some of the
but
screenshots, some of them do actually look very, very similar to Breath of the Wild, like in the way that the grass is.
I see. Yeah, I was gonna say the grass is very much the. Actually, it's weird because I'm looking at some screenshots now, and the characters themselves seem rendered almost in a different world.
Yeah,
And the rest looks like Breath of the Wild.
I think that's some of the weirdness of the Unity engine, if I'm honest.
All right. Yeah, because the characters themselves are very cartoony.
Very anime
Almost cel shaded.
inspired,
Yeah,
very
exactly.
anime-esque,
Yeah.
big eyes, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, anime game, not interested. I know some
Yeah.
will be, but I'm not. Anyway, so we'll move on away from that because I'm not willing to talk about that as much because it looks super boring to me.
Yes.
The next game, we're not going to touch on that much.
Yes.
It's called Aeon Must Die, so we'll move on, and it will make sense later.
Yes.
The next game after that was called, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this, called Anno/Mutationum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about how I would pronounce that as well.
Okay, and it
Yeah,
looks super weird.
it's very strange.
It's very
We talked a little bit.
cyberpunky.
Yeah, like the colors are dead on. I love the colors.
I mean,
Um,
it's a gorgeous
but
looking game. Let's be
mm,
honest.
until you see her move, and then it's just
Yeah.
like
So now
it loses something.
this gave off some impressions of a game that I played at EGX Res a couple of years ago called Forgotten Anne.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that
Mm-hmm.
the character moves is exactly like that game, except the world is a lot more fleshed out in this one by the looks of it.
Right. Right.
I would recommend Forgotten Anne. It's a very good story-based indie game. It's very
Mm.
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not I'm confused by what appears to me, and perhaps my perception is wrong, but appears to me to be some really pretty backgrounds, and
Yeah,
then the weird choice of using almost 16-bit type character renders, and I don't
yeah, I
understand that.
agree. Actually, I didn't really think about that one before.
Yeah, that it's the disjointedness. I mean, maybe that's intentional, but it doesn't. It just I don't know. It doesn't flow for me. I really like the backgrounds. I
I
think
agree.
that those are beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next game is another PS5 game. Whoop, whoop. So
Mm-hmm.
now we're going to be
Oh
talking
yes.
about Bug Snacks. Oh yeah.
Oh, bug snacks.
So they showed gameplay.
Yeah.
They show,
Yeah.
so they showed
So
gameplay.
so bug snacks. Let's talk about bug snacks for a second.
We're already talking about Bug Snacks.
Yeah, but I mean, let's do a little shallow deep dive.
Yeah, okay.
So when we first watched Bug Snacks, which, oh wait, we didn't record that one, did it?
No,
Did
we
we?
didn't. We were on the PlayStation. It was on the PlayStation 5 showcase. We were talking
Yeah,
about it live, but we didn't record that
we
one.
didn't record it, but then we did talk about it, obviously, in
Yeah.
the roundtable discussion. Um, and when I first saw Bug Snacks, it's too cute and it's too over the top, and it didn't make sense to me, and it broke all my logic circuits,
Yeah.
my autistic logic circuits, and I didn't like it. And although I did like the music,
Yeah.
and then I read that it's supposed to be like 4 out of 5 of my really, I'm not gonna say favorite games, but games I really enjoy, like Viva and Pinata,
Yeah.
Dark Cloud. They specifically mentioned Dark Cloud. And then, there's a couple of other ones in there that, you and I've talked about, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit on board.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I'm not saying I'm a convert yet for you and James. Uh, but
You're getting
there's
close, though.
there might be a little bit of a dark turn, a dark undercurrent
I
under
really
all
hope
this
so.
false cuteness. That will win me over so fast if it turns out to be, that little. Because, see, I'll tell you what, the game that we've brought it up a couple times, and I've just blanked that out. The one you have to take the Happy Fields. We Happy Fields.
Few.
We Happy Few. When it was first debuted, we're talking about way back, early days.
Yeah.
It had that kind of, oh, it's a shiny, happy place. But there was a dark undercurrent. Of course, the story has now changed. It's not what it used to be, and all that kind of stuff. But its initial iteration.
Yeah, it was enough to get me interested.
Yeah, exactly. So if Bugsnax turns out to have a little bit of a dark undercurrent under there, I might be on board. You guys might have called it. You might have.
Well, I didn't call it. I didn't say anything about that. There was a podcast that I listened to where one of the members on there, in fact, I don't care, we've mentioned him before, Computer Game Show, David Turner, actually, the co-host on there, did state when they did their breakdown of it that actually he thinks that there is some dark, sinister undertones to this. So
I might be on board with that.
Yeah, because they specifically mentioned something in the trailer saying about about that sort of thing as well.
I might have to, if it turns out to be that, I will hat in hand or whatever they say. I'll hashtag Bugsnax, Team Bugsnax.
I'm already there.
I know
Me and James are.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm the one that's hesitant. So
I
And
know.
I have not jumped on board with you two, but
I know.
if
And that's the thing
if
is that
this,
this is a PS4 game as well, so you don't even have to buy a
yeah,
PS5 to try it out. So go ahead.
gosh, yeah,
I kind of
yeah,
hope they get a demo.
I do too. Well, they gotta have that little bit of darkness in there for me, but
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
So shall we move on to the
we
next
will move on.
game?
Yeah, because I want to talk about this.
Uh, so this is a PSVR game called Vader
Uh-huh.
Immortal.
Yeah.
Star Wars story.
Well, yeah. I guess we should preface it with that. Um,
Yeah, I did.
it's weird because Darth Vader's my favorite Star Wars character, and we're talking,
Mm.
of course, the original trilogy. Because I'm a hipster or whatever. Um,
Well,
although,
you're not part of the fandom menace.
yeah, exactly. Oh gosh. But he is my favorite character in the original.
Yeah.
And then uh, Han Solo being the second favorite. But so my favorite character, also in a PSVR game, you'd think, oh my gosh,
This is cool.
this has got to be it. It looks so dumb and stupid. I'm
Uh,
sorry. I am so sorry.
this is the
But
only game that I actually looked away at the screen when I was watching this and went, "This looks boring. I have no interest."
I don't know if Disney's trying to soften uh, Vader? I don't know. I don't know. But I will say that the description is step inside a galaxy far, far away with Vader Immortal Episode
Yeah.
1, which should tell us, okay, I guess they're looking to do more than one episode. You're a smuggler operating near Mustafar, which I mentioned to Pete. Like, when did this happen? The fiery world Darth Vader calls home.
Yeah.
I don't remember that happening. Him calling it home is the part. I'm trying to figure out the timeline. Like, when is this set? When you are unexpectedly pulled out of hyperspace, you find yourself uncovering an ancient mystery at the behest of the Sith Lord himself. So,
Ugh.
no, that's not.
No, none of this
That's not how
happened.
Darth Vader do. No, he don't. That's not how he do. That maybe it's a clone. It's the Clone Wars. Um,
Oh, stop trying to justify this. It's a really poor decision by Disney again.
it is. It is.
Once again, don't know how to handle Star Wars.
Yeah, they don't. But I will tell you, much in the way that I will probably buy anything with Halo slapped on it, I think that your diehard Star Wars fans will also do the same with anything with Star
yeah.
Wars slapped on it.
Yeah, because they went to go and see The Last Jedi more than once.
Yeah.
And The
Yeah,
Rise
yeah.
of Skywalker more than once.
Yeah. I'm just confused as to why they're saying that he called Mustafar home. But
I don't recall him ever calling Mustafar home.
yeah, but which again, maybe there's some side lore, but then Disney said none of the expanded stuff counted, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's
I
just
don't know.
weird. So we'll move on because this is confusing your poor autistic brain.
It is, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm about to go into lore time.
Yeah, I need to move you away from that immediately because we can go into
Yes.
some more lore on this one.
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah, they showed DLC Pack 2 for Control called
Yeah.
Ore.
Yep, which everyone was crazy about Control. Should we? Yeah, I guess we can say.
Well, it's
what
in the trailer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the DLC deals with some kind of connection to Alan Wake.
Yeah, they go back to the area at which Alan Wake is set.
Right. Alan Wake, Pete and I discussed off air, really didn't do anything for either of us.
It's a great game. It's just it didn't do anything for me. I thought the combat was quite generic, but the idea of actually using the light to actually start the process of breaking them down so that you could kill them was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember liking the actual storyline, but the game is, I don't know. So but that's an interesting direction, and I hope it goes well for those who've been demanding more Alan Wake. So,
and for those who want more stuff to do with Control, because Control is apparently a really good game.
Oh, people went nuts for it.
They did, yeah.
I haven't settled down enough to play it, but
No.
I do know that a lot of people just praised it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I can't make any equivocations on that one because I've not played it. It's been
Yep.
one of those games that if once it comes onto Game Pass or it goes cheap, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Yeah. Next game, Auto Chess. Moving on, it's a chess game.
Yeah, it's a chess game.
Because I want to move away from chess to talk about this game, The
Yes.
Pedestrian, which is due out
Yes.
in January of 2021. People are not down on this. I think this looks amazing.
Yeah. Another one that you and I had talked about. I saw this previewed by someone, and I cannot remember who.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved it. I thought it looked very, very, very cool. Very like unique. That's the word I
Yeah,
was.
it's like puzzles integrated into the real world, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really weird. But the art style was quite basic, but
That was
it
it.
didn't need to be done. It was just like it
Mm-hmm.
didn't need to be anything fancy. It's like just so imagine like a bathroom stall sign, and you've got a puzzle in there to move around in.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, but I thought it was really interesting, and I'm looking forward to actually picking this one up.
Yep, and I've just looked it up, and it was actually Jacksepticeye that did it.
Of course, it was.
Yeah, I knew it was down to Jacksepticeye or Call Me Kevin, and it was Jack. And he debuted it January 31st of this year,
Cool.
and I remember, God, that feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it does.
It's weird, but oh, yeah, but I remember looking at it and thinking, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a pretty cool idea.
Hmm.
So I will be playing that for sure.
Yeah, so you can expect next year that both of us will pick it up, and
Oh yeah,
we'll have some sort of take on it.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the last three games that they showed were all PS5 games,
Yeah.
and they lied. They lied.
Okay.
They said that we were going to be talking about games that we already knew about. There was one game in this list in the PS5 ones we didn't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one was Hood, Outlaws, and Legends.
Right.
We knew about that one, and it looks kind of generic, kind of boring, to be honest.
Very generic. Yeah.
No,
Like, I want it to be good, but
yeah, I have no interest in this game whatsoever. So fair enough. Like, it's probably gonna excite a few people. It just didn't do it for me. Like,
yeah. Yeah, it's more of a person versus. I think someone's listed it as PvPvE, so
yeah,
person versus everyone. So
mm, yeah, it looks, yeah,
eh,
okay, okay. Next game, the second and last game that they showed is the one that I actually didn't know about.
which is weird. It's a weird one.
It's called Temtem. Now, anyone who's been on the PC over the last few months will know that Temtem released on early access on PC. I think it was the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially a rip-off of Pokemon.
And it
And
literally is.
they even state it. They even state that it's a direct rip-off of Pokemon.
Like, it's not even a joke. It's Pokemon. Like, you can look at it and go, oh my gosh, like that's crazy. I can't believe they got away with that.
I think they did enough to skirt the line that they couldn't do anything about it.
There has to be something. There has to be some way. Yeah. Because guys, go look it up. Look at those
It's
screenshots.
awesome.
Yeah. It's crazy.
To be
It's
fair,
well done. It's beautiful.
yeah, this was the thing. Like, they showed it on this showcase. It was like showing a lot of gameplay for this. And it looks interesting. Like, it's 2-on-2 battlers rather than 1-on-1.
Right.
I like the environment. The world looks really interesting as
Oh,
well.
it does. It looks good.
I might be interested in picking this one up. Because if Pokemon's better than Pokemon, then
oh yeah,
dear, you're gonna hear a lot of those people who said Sword and Shield suck come out and go, "This game is amazing."
Yeah, because you famously took back your copy.
No, I sold my copy.
Oh, sold your copy. That was it.
Yeah.
So that, yeah.
Well, yeah, because I had my fill of it. I didn't think it was a bad game. It was just I had my fill.
Yeah, you were just done.
And the way that I sold it has meant I only played it for paid like £10.
Yeah.
I sold it for 35 quid.
Wow. That's really good. That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah, sold it for 35 quid, paid 45 quid for it. So I played that whole game
Yeah.
for 30 hours for 10 quid. Yes.
That's not bad. That
Best
was
thing
a
to do with
return on
Switch
investment.
games.
Yeah, I agree.
I did the same with ARMS, actually, and I think with Mario Tennis Aces.
That's a good way to be.
Yeah. So the last game is Godfall, the
Yeah,
that
which we've talked
that
about.
Gearbox software game produced game.
Yeah.
Ugh, this looks
Yeah.
no more interesting than I thought it was
No.
going to be. No thanks.
Yeah.
Not interested at all. So we'll move very swiftly on from the state of play because this is now getting very
Yeah.
boring to talk about.
It is.
'Cause
Which kind of tells you what the state of play was like.
Boring. It was
The
45
state
minutes
of
of droll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. So we'll move on to some more Sony news. Yay!
Yay.
This isn't good news though. So,
Yes.
Sony have confirmed that PlayStation 4 controllers will not be usable on PlayStation 5 games, but will be usable on the majority of PS4 games.
Yeah.
They also stated that accessories such as arcade sticks, the 3D camera, the stereo headset will work on the new system.
Okay, my exact comment when I saw that story was, who cares?
Yeah, that was my point as well. But apparently people got really angry about this.
People are always looking for something to be angry about.
Yes.
It's so weird. It's like, why even... I mean, I guess they do have to kind of do a press release, I guess, but...
Yeah.
I don't understand why you'd use a PS4 controller on a PS5. You know? Unless they're saying that a PS5 controller won't work with PS4 games.
No, that's what they're saying, is that the PS5 game, the controller will not work when it comes to the emulation. So you have to use a PS4 controller by the looks of it.
Right.
But then the PS4 controller won't work on the PS5 games.
So you're going to have to switch.
Yeah, so you're going to have that controller available to you regardless.
That's dumb. That's so dumb.
I mean, you look at it like this, right? And I was having this out over the week with a name that I mentioned earlier, David Turner from the Computer Game Show. Basically, he was saying to it, like they were stating that there's not really been a system that's ever had a controller that's moved on to the next generation. That isn't true. That's definitely not true, because the Wii remotes worked on the Wii U for nearly every single game. PS1 controllers could be usable on PS2 games. What else is it?
The motion controllers work in VR because I can't get it.
Yes, they do. Yes, the PS3 Move controllers work for PSVR on the PS4 and will still work on PS5.
Yep.
Because they also talked about the AIM controller as well with that. And I'm trying to think of others. Oh, the other big one, and this isn't well known across many people, because I had this out with someone else, is that the Mega Drive controller works across nearly every single home computer.
Oh, right.
Except the C64.
Wow. That's crazy. So, that's really wild. But yeah.
I have to preface C64, Commodore 64.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, sorry.
I knew what you meant.
I knew, but I knew what I meant. I knew you meant, but I had to explain it for those, because home computers are not exactly well known to a lot of the Americans.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, obviously we had the Commodore, but we didn't have the
ZX Spectrum, the Amiga. No,
we had the Amiga.
No, it's shut up. It's English. It's called a ZX Spectrum, not a ZX Spectrum. So get out of here.
That's another thing. When I was listening to Douglas Adams read The Hitchhiker's Guide, and he said that Earth was located in plural alpha Z, and I was like, no, ZZ.
Yeah, and that was the annoying thing, is they even did it in the movie as well, and they said it as ZZ Alpha. I was like, you suck.
Yeah.
English book, come on. English author.
It's true. I would have to side with you on that one. I would.
I would as well, because I will. But the best thing about this is actually Microsoft. I love this.
Oh,
Right, so I've got
yes.
this up just so we can have a look. But
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft took a pot shot at Sony for this.
It's just very rare. It's very rare.
What does ICYMI mean?
In case you missed it.
Oh, okay, cool, thanks. So in
See,
case you missed
it
it,
takes me 2 seconds. I can figure those
yeah,
out.
awesome. So in case you missed it, Xbox Series X is backwards compatible with all Xbox One controllers, including all games, across all games,
Ah,
sorry. So official Xbox controller, adaptive controller, Xbox Elite wireless controller, and the SCUF controllers.
nice.
So basically,
I love it.
Microsoft are going, screw you, Sony, all our accessories work. Ha.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, it's usually Sony throwing shade at Microsoft, and usually a couple of hours before they have a big event. So it was nice
Yeah.
for the shoe to be on the other foot for once.
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
Yeah. So I'm a bit confused by like what the deal is with all these controllers. It is a bit weird. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I'm, yeah,
It's like
basically.
I get it. Like I get that there's going to be certain features in the PS5 games that are not going to work with PS4, but I mean the only thing that we know about is the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers and that
Right.
new touch control that's on there.
Yeah.
Like
Which is what
what?
I think is the source of everything.
Yeah, but there's a touchpad on the PS4 controller
There
already,
is. Yeah. But
and the adjustable triggers and the haptic feedback. I don't know, and the 3D audio. I don't know is going to make that much of a
eh,
difference. So my point is, if you don't want to go out and spend, let's be honest, those controllers are probably going to be about 70 quid.
right.
So if you want to play a multiplayer game with someone on the couch, then you can't use a PS4 controller.
That's a good
So
point.
you've got to go and spend an extra bit of money just to go and do that. Whereas Xbox is already
Ooh.
stating, oh yeah, if you've got an
Yeah.
Xbox One, you've got a second controller almost immediately. Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love that. So, yeah, one up for Microsoft, I think, on this one.
Yep. Absolutely.
Ooh, I love this story.
I know you do.
I had look. We spoke a lot of Halo last week. All right,
We
you
did.
got
We
your
did.
wish, so I
You're
get
right.
mine.
Yes. Yes.
So there was a live stream earlier on in the
Yes.
week with the producers of Street Fighter Five, basically
Yep.
detailing the finer details of the final season of the game,
Yes.
and this is the apology season. Well, because
I like that. The
this year,
apology tour.
well, it is because essentially they've had to cancel Capcom Cup this year.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, Evo got stuffed
Yes.
and
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So they were like, we're sorry, you know, this all happened. We're giving you one final season because this game was due to shut off all content after 2020, but
Mm-hmm.
now it's going to move into 2021. So some of the smaller announcements that we got was that
Mm-hmm.
Capcom Cup is due to return in January of 2021 to finish the season out.
Excellent.
They also had the Street Fighter League Season 3 announcement, which is
Mm-hmm.
essentially team battling esports competition.
Oh right. Okay.
I might be interested in watching this time because I didn't
Mm-hmm.
watch the previous two seasons, but this, I think what they did in the first one was just America on America. Then it was the
Oh
Americans
right.
versus the
Right.
Japanese in season two, but now it's a
Right.
worldwide competition this time. So
Excellent.
I'm
Yeah.
interested in that. But we're not here for that. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about esports.
Uh-huh.
James, in case you're listening, I don't want an email about this. No, I care about esports.
Yeah, we know you do. That's what's so
Yeah.
funny. But yeah.
So the thing what they did is they started strong. Like, I mean, really strong on this one. But I'll go over that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
They because of course I watched this whole thing. It was like an hour and 15
Yes.
minutes, and all the announcements happened in the first 20 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was weird. So they basically gave a roadmap, and roadmaps kind of suck for me usually, but at
Mm-hmm.
least they actually dated stuff.
Right.
Yeah, they gave
That's
holiday
good.
and all that sort of
Mm-hmm.
thing. So they gave a very detailed breakdown of when things are going to be coming, what's going to be coming. So they showed that there are going to be 5 characters. We already knew that. What they did show is that there are going to be more costumes. A couple of new stages are going to be added along that time, and also they're going to have 2 stages that are character specific.
Oh wow!
So that's
Okay.
cool as hell. So
Yeah.
let's move on to the characters, shall we?
Here we go.
My God, these were a surprise. Some of them not, some of them were. So Rose and Oro, those were the obvious ones. So Rose from Street Fighter Alpha series and Street Fighter 4. Mentor of Manat, who is already in the game. I won't go into her backstory. That's very deep. Surprisingly.
We'll do a deep dive on Street Fighter eventually. For
Oh,
sure.
you need to hear lore, because some of the lore is crazy in that game.
Yes, I assume it would be.
Oro is the new mentor of Ryu in Street Fighter 3.
Interesting.
He fights with one arm but tied behind his back because he's too powerful otherwise.
Yes.
So they showed concept art for this one, and this is awesome. He's not tying his arm behind the back this time.
Oh.
He's got a turtle. So he's holding a turtle the whole time. It's gonna be weird.
Unexpected.
Yeah, I know. It was strange. It's like, okay, I haven't learnt to tie my arm behind my back yet because this obviously happens before Street Fighter 3. So rather than that, he's just gonna hold something up.
Okay.
It's just gonna be cool. So fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, these 2 were a surprise, a big surprise. Well, let's be honest. There were 4 shown here. The 5th one is completely unknown at this point. Even they don't know who it is yet.
Right. Okay.
But they basically... Oh my God, I can't believe they did this. So, they've got a guest character and a returning character.
Okay.
The returning character is Dan.
Right.
Dan Hibiki, the biggest joke character of all of Street Fighter history, is becoming a viable, decent character. They showed off-screen gameplay of him.
He's like
a joke.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah.
No.
He's
what? Oh my
parody
God.
Character.
Yeah. Well, the story of it, I have to put this on file now and let you know. Basically, Dan was Capcom's excuse to take the piss out of SNK because SNK created a character called Ryo, which was essentially Ryu. So they took the piss and basically made Dan a piss take, and which is why he's so weak.
So, oh gosh. So it's a parody of a parody.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
That's why he has the pink gi, because the gi was that colour for the character.
And you know, I just want to go on record and state that there's nothing wrong with the pink gi because
no, there isn't.
Because that was going to be my chosen
of course
gi color when I was going to be an assistant instructor. So yeah. But I moved to Northern Ireland instead. So.
Yeah. Of course. So what they've done with Dan this time is really interesting. So he had a lot of he could taunt a lot, and he generally would build meter off of taunts.
Right.
They've actually made a lot of his moves taunt cancelable now.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's funny.
So you actually taunt after a Shoryuken and stuff like that. It's so weird.
Oh, that's wild.
It's going to be awesome. I'm so looking forward to it. He's the first character that's due to come out as well, and I'm so in.
Oh, that's funny.
I probably wasn't going to get this season, but I'm so in now.
Oh my gosh, that is funny.
So the last character they showed was the biggest surprise of all. Akira from Rival Schools. The forgotten fighting game from the Dreamcast era.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's what, that's wild.
No, the wild thing is that people have been speculating about a Rival Schools character since Season 2.
Yeah, because you've mentioned before.
Yeah, there's 2 Rival Schools characters actually in the background on Kanzuki Beach.
Yes, that's right. Yes, I remember you saying that. That's crazy.
So weird. But
Yeah,
I'm
that's
in.
weird.
I mean, they didn't show any like in
The
engine sort
art,
of stuff or the artwork or
right,
anything. They just showed her original design. But I mean,
right,
that was
okay,
enough for people to go, "Oh my god, what?"
right.
So fair enough. I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm so in for this.
she's got great shoulder pads. I could totally get into that.
Yeah. The thing is, this makes sense though because actually Sakura,
Hmm.
she
Yes.
was in Rival Schools
Mm-hmm.
as a guest character,
Yeah.
so they have
So it's kind of a
made it obvious that they share the same universe.
yes. Yep.
So cool. I
Very
like it.
cool. I like. Gosh, she's got a great costume. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
um,
awesome.
I wish I could cosplay that.
Well,
Ugh.
when you see a new design, then who knows?
Yeah, that's very true.
So
Anyway, yes.
we've got to move on
Uh,
to this story now because it's the
yes.
last news story, but this is a big one.
It's a big
No,
one, and
and
we're
this
kind of
is
running on.
we are we've
Yeah.
run on a fair bit of hour and 35. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
We'll try and cover this as much detail as we can, but also as quickly as possible.
Yes.
So, the game Aeon Must Die. This is why we left this out of the PlayStation Showcase State of Play, because there has been a lot of accusations been made about this game in particular. Such accusations include a dumping of all company letters that were
Yeah.
related to a particular claim by the dev studio.
Yeah.
Is it Limestone Games?
Yes. That's right.
There's a lot of discussion about them, as well as the publisher Focus Home Interactive, and stating that the trailer that came out on the State of Play was actually a recut trailer by Sony or another company, because the entire dev team have quit the project.
Yes. Which is
Amid
unprecedented.
amid claims of corruption, theft of IP, unpaid bonuses, and generally unpaid employees.
Right.
And Focus Home Interactive are now in the firing line because apparently they knew all of this going up to it and did nothing about it for months.
Yeah.
The devs apparently had contacted Focus Home stating about all the problems, and they got no responses to the point where on August 6th, they just upped and left. Just upped and left the project, where they actually put the original trailer that they had cut for Aeon Must Die up onto YouTube and said, this game was made with corruption, lies, and deceit.
Yeah.
And apparently, the original trailer actually makes it look so much different as well.
That's so crazy.
This is the weirdest story I think we've ever covered.
And that's saying something, because we covered Rusty, what's his face?
Rusty
Gearbox.
what? Randy Pitchford. Rusty, what's his face?
You know? Okay, so
look,
I
okay,
have
if I
with names anyway, but I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, people, but on King of the Hill, I believe Dale's AKA was Rusty Pickford.
nice.
That's why I keep saying
Is it
that.
Rusty Pickford or
Okay.
Rusty Pitchfork?
No, Pickford,
Okay.
but I'm sure it was, a play on Pitchfork.
Okay. Well, if I ever have to create a game, I am so naming my my main character Rusty something or other, or who'd you call it, or whatever you said.
Yeah, oh my gosh. Like, completely, just a quick little side note. I'm so bad with names, just in general, that in Viva Pinata, I just made up names for the pinatas because there's no way I could remember. The only one I remember is Buzzlegum. And then
That's because it's a
outside
weird name, though.
it was so cute. But on the other ones, I just called them whatever I wanted to call them, like Chocodile and stuff like
Brilliant.
that. So, yeah. Anyway, that's how bad I am with names.
Yes, so, I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link for this Dropbox, because it is a
good idea.
fascinating read.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to read some of the intro document that they've left on the Dropbox.
Yep.
So, this is a letter that came from the devs by the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
It says, Sony's State of Play is happening on the 6th of August. One of the planned announcements is Aeon Must Die, AMD, a game created by people who in June of 2020 were forced to leave their former studio Limestone Games along with its founder and creative director. Their reasons were unbearable work conditions with endless crunch, harassment, abuse, corruption, and manipulation. When the team acquired an attorney to figure out the truth behind all the conflicting information and pressure, it was also discovered that the company and the entire IP was covertly taken from the founder. Multiple attempts at establishing dialogue and remedying the situation internally were shut down by management and majority shareholders. So that's the first paragraph, and I think that covers everything. That gives you the very briefest of summaries of what's happened.
Yeah. I think that's pretty brief, but it encompasses everything.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Um,
But my god, is it a fun read? Seriously,
uh,
some of the stuff in here is absolutely incredible to read, but also
it's
very harrowing, very disastrous, and very weird
yeah.
as well. So,
It's definitely weird, but it gives you kind of a behind the scenes look at the dev cycle,
mhm.
um, which I've stated before, even to Mike, that I really want like us to do a show on the dev cycle.
I
And
would like to,
it's
but I want to
yeah,
do it with a dev themselves.
yeah, exactly. We've discussed off air. So that'll be an upcoming show. Um, but it's an interesting just it's a very eye-opening experience.
Mm,
And then Focus Home Interactive, which is the publisher, they ended up releasing a statement as well.
they did, yeah. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, I got it pulled up here. Focus Home Interactive has always praised and supported all of our partner studios and the developers who compose the creative teams. We pride ourselves on treating our own employees and third-party developers fairly and respectfully, and this will not change. Focus Home Interactive was informed of serious allegations raised by some of the developers at Limestone, who have worked on the creation of the video game Aeon Must Die. These grievances are directed at Limestone, their direct employer. As the publisher of this video game, Focus is carefully looking into these allegations and will draw the necessary conclusions if they are proved to be well-founded, and then take all appropriate measures. No further comment will be shared until we have a clearer and complete view on this matter. That is the most passing
Yep.
the buckiest excuse I've ever
Well,
read in my life.
well, I could have said something that rhymed with buck.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Because this is what I
We
think
have to put
about.
it in a pocket.
I
Yeah.
would, yeah, but it would be worth it. It would be worth it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know because I'd heard a story, and I was trying to think like what the game was, but apparently this isn't the first time this has happened under Focus Home's
That's
tutelage.
right. That's what I've heard as
So
well.
yeah, I'm struggling to think what the game actually was, but I did hear it in a video, and I can't think. But yeah, it's just weird that this keeps happening,
Hmm.
like especially if they
Yeah.
you know, if this keeps happening for like under the tutelage of Focus Home, then we got to worry about Focus Home then.
Yeah, and I want to do this quote, but I want to do it right. The quote I read you earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, let's see. It's a random quote that I found on Polygon of all places.
Wow. Okay.
Polygon.com, and it talks about the creative office, the chief creative officer, who
Yeah.
helped found the studio, Limestone Studio, in 2016, and it's based in Estonia. Um, and he is quoted as saying, "No one wants to work week. No one wants to work without weekends and on amphetamines." Um,
Oh, wow. Okay.
that's pretty powerful. That means that it sounds to me like he was standing up for for his crew, like
Yeah.
don't make them work weekends and have to be on amphetamines. I think that kind of speaks to the culture of development, and again, that will be in our future topic. But if this is the way of the dev world, I think that there will be a massive cleanup,
Yep, there will
coming.
be. That was it.
Yeah.
I found it. I finally found it.
Oh, yay.
It was Frogware Games, the people who
Oh, wow.
made the Sherlock Holmes games.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Apparently,
yes.
they Focus Home stole the IP off of them, so
What?
they had to go to places like Steam and Xbox and all that to try and get them back on the games back onto the storefront
Oh
because
my
they
gosh.
just got completely taken down by Focus Home.
I thought that they made those for Focus Home. That's wild. Um, so, oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. We may to do me we may need to do a deeper dive on
I
this.
think we need to.
Yeah, because we've gone on a little long this time. But
Mm.
this warrants, I could see a roundtable discussion about this.
I think
Yeah.
we're going to have to, but also,
Yeah.
if we're going to do the roundtable, I would like to have a developer on at least.
Yes, 100%. Yes, 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 yes. So if you're hearing this and you're a developer, we'll still reach out on Twitter and everything. But if you hear this before we get someone, message us,
Yes,
which we'll share at the end of the show.
absolutely.
But yes, we should
Okay.
probably move quickly on.
Yeah, because that's all the stories.
Yes.
Woo.
Which means we get into my favorite part.
Hey.
They're all my favorite parts, actually.
Yeah.
Listener questions.
I do like me some listener questions.
I do. I adore them.
Do you want to take the first one?
Yes. I do want to do a fair warning, though. There's a question coming up towards the end. I'm going to go full autistic info dump. I'm just warning everyone.
Okay, fine.
It'll be fun.
Sure.
But anyway, so the first one is, what one retro game would you like to venture into a VR setting? And would you keep the graphics the same or want them updated? And that is Gamer Dad Journal.
That's one of our writers.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Great question, by the way.
Yeah, I already have mine. Do you have yours?
I do.
Go for it.
We debated for ages what would be considered a retro game in this one.
Yeah.
So we came up with anything that was about 15 years.
Yes.
And I also include the Wii in this because it was essentially a beefed up
Yeah.
GameCube anyway. Which
Yes,
opens
it
up the
was.
door for my first choice, Mario Galaxy.
Why am I not surprised?
Well, look, if you're going to get me into VR in some way, it has to be Mario related.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna pick a Mario game.
But also it's a platformer, like Astrobot sort of pretty much gave the way that you could do a platformer in a VR setting, so there you go.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Go on, your first choice then.
Well, I was gonna say though,
Cool,
what about the second half of the question?
Oh, whether or not I'd keep the art style the same. I might touch up some of the assets, but I think Galaxy is still a brilliant looking game anyway.
Yeah. Okay, mine might be somewhat predictable. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be as predictable as you think.
Fallout, Elder Scrolls.
No, not quite.
Okay.
For the
Halo.
no. So actually, weirdly, the first one I would pick, even though he did say what one retro game, but hey, this is a fun question.
Yeah, we wanted to pick a few.
Exactly. No, my first one would be Tomb Raider, the original.
Ooh, actually, that's a good one.
Yeah, and mostly because I was itty bitty, but I can't help it. I still to this day remember her swimming in water, and it being fascinated by it. So I would like the graphics to be updated, and then just do a VR swim as Lara Croft. And
so basically, old style of like Tomb Raider games done in the Crystal Dynamics art style.
I don't know.
Just barring like environmentally, just not the player, not Lara herself.
Laura needs bigger boobs and bigger muscles, and
then
I'm
needs to be
on board.
more triangle.
Oh, those triangles. I remember seeing that specifically pointed out on the cover of some magazine at the time.
Yep.
And it was like, Lara Croft, the new sex symbol. And it was just her her polygonal triangle boobs. And I was just like, what?
I remember
What?
that too. It was so funny.
But anyway, yes, so your next choice.
This probably won't come as a surprise. I'll list my next two because I've only got number two, and they kind of make sense as well. The first one's Ape Escape.
Oh, of course, yes. Oh, yeah.
I talk about my love of Ape Escape. It's a 3D platformer. It's awesome.
Yes.
But I'm gonna go different here then. How about a stealth game?
Ooh.
Metal Gear Solid 2.
That's brilliant. That is a great idea.
I was toying with 3, but I thought the jungle setting might be a bit crazy.
Exactly.
So
no,
Metal Gear Solid 2 is a bit more contained. So
it is.
Also, who doesn't want to use Raiden using a high frequency blade in VR? Jesus, it's already made for it.
It like literally as soon as you said stealth game, I was like, yeah.
I mean, you could have also gone with Splinter Cell.
Well, yeah, that was actually my first stealth game I ever played.
Metal Gear Solid is much better than Splinter Cell. I'll just say that.
Now that I'm older, yeah, I agree. At the time,
honestly, stealth mechanics are better in Splinter Cell though.
As my first stealth game, I definitely like they were easier, if that makes sense. Like it made more sense to me. But I'm not a fan of stealth games. I will say that.
Yeah.
I like it, but it's not my
I agree. It's not my biggest bag either.
So I would just do one more then, and this is going to be weird and kind of out of left field, but I would like to do like a VR Duke Nukem. I just think that would be very cool.
Oh no. Oh God, no! Because there's a bit where he goes to the bogs, and you're just gonna see you're gonna see VR Wang then.
How did you know? I was literally thinking about the bathrooms.
Because it's you.
Yep, I would like to, for some reason, be Duke Nukem and going into the bathrooms and shooting up toilets and. Yes.
Peeing into urinals and
having a wee.
Killing them pig cops.
I think it's because I lack that actual physical body type.
Yep.
There's like that one game, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I think it's called House Party.
Yeah.
And yes, you can be a completely nude dude, or you can just like unzip your pants and whip it out or whatever. That is so weird being a female, a cis female, because I'm just like, that's just weird. That's just weird.
Look,
anyway,
movies have done it for ages, or TV shows have done the whole. What would you do if you were a woman in a man's body for a day? I mean, Family Guy did it.
Yeah.
And literally the first thing Peter does is play with Lois's breasts.
Yes.
So there you go.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a couple of questions in this plethora of questions.
Yeah.
So this comes from us at Reviews by Hughes. Sorry. Yep, one of our previous guests on last week.
Yeah.
Who I believe we may have broken him. No, he claims it to be fun. We're not sure.
Yes. I hope he did enjoy himself. I believe that he did.
I do as well. I'm just being facetious there. It was a bit crazy last week. Let's be honest.
Oh my god! At the end, if you haven't listened to it, guys, I'm not kidding. It's a crazy one. But anyway,
I'm not giving anything away. So, the first thing he said, and this is why we did. We're not answering this part of the question because we already have. Yes. I've read some absolute drivel about the upcoming PS4 State of Play being a waste of time. What's your thoughts? Sean, go back to the earlier part of this episode where we talk about it in depth.
Yep.
So there you go. We answered that question without even being asked it. We got asked it first, but you know.
Yeah.
So the next one is, if you could design your own game, what would it be like?
I've already got mine.
I didn't even see this question, so I'm gonna have to come up with
Oh,
something. But
really?
if I
Okay.
look, to be honest, if I was gonna, we all know what I'm gonna answer. It's gonna be a platformer. There's no other
Well,
way about it, or it's a fighting game. Sorry.
yeah, that's true. Mine would be a dating sim with Master Chief.
For God's sakes. At least you went with something different, slightly.
What, the dating sim? Because I'd never play
Yeah,
one ever in
you'd
real
never
life.
play a dating sim, but if it had Master Chief and Cortana in it, then you're in.
Oh yeah, I'm so in. More ways than one. But yes, continue on.
Fine. I I'm gonna say I want to make a fighting game. That's kind of
Yes.
obvious. I
Yes.
actually, if I could, I actually want to. I want to make the meme. There has been a meme that's been going around for years. Capcom
Mm-hmm.
versus Kellogg's. The
Right.
cross generations of breakfast cereals.
Oh my gosh.
I actually want to
That would be
make that
great.
game.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
2-on-2 tag battler with
That would be cool. Like
Ryu and Ken versus Tony the
Tony the
Tiger,
Tiger. Yep. Yep.
Coco the Monkey.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So
Oh my
stupid.
gosh.
So stupid.
That would be a great
In
flash
fact,
game.
I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna find that image because it is
Oh.
so good.
Well, then I'll continue on with the questions,
Please do.
which is who is Big Cook and who is Little Cook? Because we didn't really answer that last week.
No, we didn't. We really didn't.
Yeah, but yeah, no, that was a funny question, and I think it would be funny to continue not answering it. So,
Yeah, I agree. Actually, there you go. I've just sent it to you.
and then of course, that is awesome. Um,
I've literally just used the Tatsunoko box art and just put a load of
I know,
stupid stuff on there. It's so funny.
that is good.
Why has it got
And
Tony
then,
on there twice? Oh, it says it's gonna take you for a ride. Oh my
oh my
god!
gosh.
God damn it!
Ah,
I'll
that's-
post this on
that's-
Twitter so you can all see it.
Yeah, you'll
yourselves.
have to. Absolutely.
God.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
And then continuing on, something, Peter Molyneux, something. I just read that in the dark side.
Dark side.
Side.
Something.
I think we are all in Peter Molyneux's pockets or something.
I'd rather
that
not.
was...
No. I got out of that pocket after last week, and I don't want to be back in there again.
And last question from reviews by Hughes. Gunk, anyone?
No, I made that abundantly clear last week. I don't want to play the gunk.
Now, I'm going to take this moment, as I've warned, I'm about to go Aspie, and I do apologize. Only because I know this can be boring as heck to people, but I
Okay.
can't help it. That's just how I'm made.
Cool.
So this next question is, if you were an actual radio station, what would your frequency be, and why? Which would be sent to us at Kieran_Fiffield. Okay, so a few things. One, all right, we'll get the obvious cliche out of the way. Frequency would be Kenneth. Okay, so
What?
push that out of the way. That's a song by REM.
Okay.
So here's the problem. I'm so sorry, guys. I just have to. Our frequency would be between 200 kilohertz and we'd have to pick from 88.1 to 108.1.
I think so, yeah.
So that's a strange question.
No, I don't know if he's talking about band frequency or whether or not he's talking about frequency of
well, that's why I wanted
show
to,
itself.
Yeah, well, that's why I wanted to say, okay, so radio frequency, RF, is the rate of the electromagnetic field. And
wow, you really weren't kidding, were you?
I wasn't kidding. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, but this is what an info dump is like. And so it's got a range from 20 kilohertz to 300 gigahertz. And of course, like I said, radio frequency, as in FM radio, strictly FM radio, is in the 200 kilohertz bandwidth. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And so for us to be an actual radio station, we would really only be limited to picking between 88.1 and 108.1. That doesn't, I can't come up with a joke out of that one.
No,
So,
there is no joke there.
Right. So, I mean, if he really wants to know which frequency it would just be pick a number because they assign that to you.
Yeah.
But I think what he's really asking is our call sign. And a call sign or call signal, it's the designation of the station.
Yeah. It's
kind of like an address.
We used to hear it over here. Like there used to be a around my area, there used to be a radio station called Mercury FM, which was always 102.7. And they used to say in the name, it's like 102.7 Mercury FM. And you'd recognise it straight away.
Well, see, right there, 102.7 is the frequency, and Mercury FM is the call sign.
Yeah.
So, again, I can't find anything funny about the frequency. So I don't think that's what he meant.
Because no, I don't think so either.
Pick a number and it says, what would your frequency be and why? Well, just pick a number in there because that's what the number
because that's what we got assigned to us.
Yeah, exactly. Now, for call sign, if we got to just pick what we wanted,
yeah.
And that's not usually how it works, but call signs are they're basically 4 digits. They could be letters or well, mostly I think only letters. I don't think I've ever seen numbers. I could be wrong.
Well, one of them over here was Kiss 100.
Oh, okay, KISS would be it.
But then they also included the 100 as part of the name because they were actually 100.0.
Well, there you go. So I would have to say that I would like for our call sign, again, frequency, you can do whatever. I don't care. Pick a number. 69. But that's not in the 88. But so wait.
Shame.
What's the weed number? 420.
420.
Oh, God, that's outside of it, too. Oh, darn it.
Yep.
there's no cool.
Fuck it. We'll go with 89.0.
Okay.
Because there was actually an old porn site called 89.com.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So then I would like our call signs, our call letters to be WANK.
All that for that really bad joke.
Yes.
Wow, I don't know if that delivered, but that was okay. Fine.
Welcome to the Aspie Brain. I hope the punchline was worth it.
It may have been.
Oh, I hope so. Yes. So that I think is gonna wrap it up.
My answer to this would be Nonce FM. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been a lovely time. We hope everyone is out there. I hope you're all hanging in there. Well, we hope you're hanging in there. It's a weird time. We say that every episode, but let's be honest, it is a weird time. And it's just getting weirder. But we're here every week, and we appreciate you stopping by. And we have reviews to go over. I forgot to pull that up, so
yes.
I'm gonna keep talking while I type in.
I'll do it.
Okay, do it.
You carry on.
Okay, so yes, we would love if you also stop by our parent company. God, I've just really thrown myself off. Rapid Reviews UK, which is www.rapidreviewsuk.com. Where we have this week's reviews. Pete, would you like to?
Yep. So the reviews that have been coming out over this week are Ari and the Secret Seasons preview,
Nice.
Home Sheep Home Farmageddon Edition review, Pode, Skyracket, Catherine Full Body, Paper Mario the Origami King, Pro Putt by Top Golf, Clash Force. Let's see how far we're going back. Sorry, I need to see the date from last week. Okay. So, Roki, We had some tech review here with a
Nice.
smartwatch, a TicWatch Pro 2020 version.
Very
need
cool.
to go back to some slightly older posts. But yeah, I think that's about it for this week. So,
Nice.
it's been some good ones. So have a look at all of them. They've all been awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice variety as well. And I always like it when we get a little bit of a tech review slipped in there.
Yes,
yeah.
so do I. Speaking
yeah.
of which, actually, I actually spoke to Mike earlier on in the week about this. I am actually going to do a preview of Project xCloud whilst it's in its beta at the moment.
Woohoo! Yeah. Oh, yeah, I meant to talk to you about that.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I'll do that off air. It's been a crazy week. Yes. So anyway, so again, stop by rapidreviewsuk.com, or you can check us out on Twitter, which is at rapidreviewsuk, or the specific podcast Twitter, which is at rrradiopod.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us on Facebook under Rapid Reviews UK. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/RR Radio Pod.
We are honestly still working on that one. I just cannot find a capture card at the moment for love nor money.
Yep.
The price has gone up a lot because of lockdown. And a lot of people are now wanting to stream because of lockdown.
Obviously, yeah.
So yeah.
It's very strange, yeah. If you want to send us questions, comments, critiques, any of those wonderful things, we appreciate your hate mail.
Especially
yes,
to me.
Your hate. You can send those to podcast@rapidreviewsuk.com.
Mm-hmm.
And if you specifically want to find Pete, where would they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at PeteBeckett1, the number 1, because I am the greatest of all time, clearly. I'm not really, but I tweet about some massive nonsense at the best of times. It could be anything sports related, to gaming related, to politics, could be anything, whatever takes my fancy at the time. So, where do they find you on the Twitter sphere?
You can find me at Kiley Tagreet, KILEYTHGREET, where I am constantly twittering about autism because I'm still dealing with it.
And you'll never not be dealing with it.
I was going to say, I will always be dealing with it. And I will say, not that anyone's ever asked, but I did think about it. I don't talk about games as much on my Twitter because I talk about it on the podcast.
That's fair.
And I want y'all to listen to me.
I get that, but I talk about games on Twitter because I love games.
You should. Yeah. And so, again, it's great having y'all. Join us again next week. And remember that Rapid Reviews Radio is a supplement to our parent company, rapidreviews.UK. I delivered that so well the first couple of weeks, and now I'm just like,
it'll come back again. It's because it's we haven't covered that in quite a while, and also last week you had to go off the cuff.
Oh my gosh, last week my brain never recovered. But anyway, we will catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
There we go.